Hello folks. I just thought, with the, I've got a Swiss knife here. It's an Outrider. I've done a review on this one. I'll actually put it up shortly. But I was just thinking that I'd see what I could do with it in terms of making something like a clothes peg. Now, obviously, if you're using a wooden clothes peg, it could mark your clothes. So take a bit of care. Depends what sort of things you're pegging up, I suppose. But I just thought, well, I wonder what would happen if you was, say you was out somewhere and you thought, oh, I could do with a clothes peg to hang something on a washing line. Now, sometimes you can put things on a washing line and twist them round a bit and stop them falling off, or you can get these washing lines where you can sort of, they're twisted around a bit so you can poke something inside them, and that works. So there's obviously that option. But I thought, well, you might be out somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you might have a bit of string, you might think, I could do with a peg. And so I thought, well, I wonder if I could use my old Swiss knife to make a peg. So that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if you're getting all this, because I'm not actually looking through the viewfinder while I'm doing it. Can't think why. Now this is just a little bit of old scrap wood that I found, and it depends where you are as to what sort of wood you'd find. Now I have an idea. I'm not a world expert on clothes pegs. Okay, it just came in my mind the other day. I thought, oh, I could make a clothes peg with my Swiss knife, as you do. And I expect most people go, oh yeah, that's a good thing to make with your Swiss knife. Everybody makes clothes pegs with Swiss knives, don't they? But it's part of my theme of knowing how to do something, and if you've done it in a non-stressed situation, then if you're in a survival situation, not that you might say, well, clothes peg might not be the top priority in a survival situation, Dave, which is true, it might not be. But on the other hand, if you need to dry some clothes out, because wet clothes are not a particularly good idea, especially depends what the conditions are like, but wet clothes might not be such a good thing. So if you've done something like this before you get in a survival situation, when you come to get in your survival situation for real, you haven't got to think about how to do it, because you say, oh, I know, I did that a while back. Yeah. And of course you could make it quite nice. I don't know if you're getting all this, but I might just open that up a bit more, that peg bit, because well, I don't know, it's quite if you can see that, it's just springy enough. I think that might work. I'll try it later. I'll do a part 2 on this one, and I'll try it on the line. But all I was thinking is I might need to just take a little bit out the inside of that, just to open it up a little bit. Obviously I have to be very careful with this, and one thing that make sure is that your knife's nice and sharp. If your knife isn't sharp, you could end up cutting yourself. And I know that sounds daft, but blunt knives are not very good. Now if it does split, folks, if it did split, you could just wrap something very tight around the top there, just to do a cord type bit. So I'm not gonna take it too near there. Commercial peg, you might not have a particularly long top bit on there, but this is not a commercial peg, and I'm going to put a review of this knife up on the on YouTube in a little while's time. I'm just gonna chop it around there. As I say, this is a bit of scrap wood. It's I don't know if you probably didn't see that bit. I just chopped that bit off, and I'm not sure if we're out. No, I'm still within my 10 minutes, but this would be Dave's 10-minute clothes peg. And I don't know if you can see it now, but you've got your sorry, trying to look through the viewfinder and get it lined up, but you can see there you've got a fairly basic clothes peg that you'd put your cloth over the bit of line and then push this down on top to keep it on. And I'll do a part 2 to this one so that you can actually see a bit of something on a line with this particular peg. And as I say, I mean, I made this in what, 5-6 minutes with that knife. Now admittedly, sorry, with that knife, but admittedly I haven't tidied it up a bit. I could tidy it up a bit more, take some of the brown stuff off the outside there, just make it neater, get rid of some of the rough edges at the top there where I sawed through it. You know, you could do all sorts of stuff and make it really nice. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to tidy it up a bit, and I'll do part 2 of this one, and I'll show you actually on a bit of washing line. So I'll do part 2 to this one. Cheers for now. Oh,